The oxygen revolution is on. Welcome to the Vibrant You Show, where we discuss the advantages of cutting-edge therapies like hyperbaric oxygen therapy, light therapy, microcirculation, and more. Inside the chamber, it's a nap with benefits. Now, your host for the Vibrant You Show, the Oxygen and Light Lady, Stephanie Parrish.
Good morning, everybody, and happy Monday. This is such a beautiful day in southern Utah. As I always say, we're so grateful to be able to live here. And I have a special guest with me, Twiggs, and I will give you some information on her in just a minute. But I wanted to welcome all of you, and I hope you had a fantastic weekend. We did. It was Ken and I. We celebrated our first anniversary yesterday, and they said it wouldn't last. 1 year. We're so excited about that and thrilled with all the beautiful things that happen with being married to your soulmate. So I just wanted to welcome everybody. We've had just amazing things happening over at Vibrant You. We've got even background music going on here. Over at Vibrant You, we've had just a couple different athletes come in this weekend, and that's what we're going to be talking with Amy about. But we've had a few that have had some shin splints, really severe shin splints, and some we had a ruptured Achilles tendon come in. It's just crazy stuff that's coming in right now. But a lot of sports are being out there. We've got people coming in right now that are getting ready for the marathon, that are getting ready for the triathlon. We've just been really pushing a lot of athletes in sports right now, and as well as all of our other regular people that have been coming in. We've really been blessed with we've got a very severe diabetic foot wound that's coming in that's looking at possible amputation. So we're trying to get that stopped before that comes to that point. And he's doing really, really well. So it's only been a week, and we're already seeing some really cool stuff when that skin turns pink. It's beautiful. And the black icky stuff starts to fall off. I know that's kind of gross graphic, huh? But that's what we'd love to see happen in there. And we've got some people that have been suffering from cancers and from ruptured discs and severe diabetes and neuropathy and all sorts of different things. And we at Vibrant You, we don't diagnose. We are so very grateful for our medical community out there, and I want to just give them all a shout out. Thank you for taking such good care of all of us. My son, some of you have been following me. He had surgery on his arm about a month ago, and he's been going to physical therapy, and they were so thrilled with how well he's doing because he has been using the Avicen microcirculation right before his surgery and right after his surgery. And this is something we're really trying to encourage. If you are going in for surgery, we've actually got a lady that came in that had some stomach repair stuff done. And she had done 3 sessions before, and the doctors were blown away with how well she looked and how well she's done. And she's now back with us for recovery. So a little bit of everything. Everybody's bodies can benefit from more oxygen and more light and more microcirculation. It doesn't matter who you are. If you've got blood, you need more oxygen and more circulation. So that kind of encompasses everybody. So we want to make sure that everybody knows that we are Vibrant You. We are at 352 East Riverside Drive here in St. George, Suite A6. And our phone number is 435-218-7260. 435-218-7260. And you can also find us at vibrantyouutah.com. So with all those wonderful intros, I just want to introduce this wonderful woman that is sitting here next to me. Her name is Twiggs. And excuse me, she is a #1 best-selling author. Ooh, I'm sitting right next to her. It's so fun. She had me on her podcast a month or so ago, and I'm just so grateful that she has spent a little bit of time, because she's a crazy busy, and be able to come in on ours. And she is a wife and mother of 4 teenagers. We can all say, because we've been there. She's a former elite athlete. She was a member of the national gymnastics team. Isn't that so cool? I just love to listen to her stories. She obtained a bachelor's degree in psychology with a focus on health and development from Stanford University. Professionally trained as a life coach at the Life Coach School. Mental training is her passion. Amy's education and experience has proved many opportunities for her to give back to athletes. It has been really fun. When we were very first talking, we're like, this is so crazy, because anybody that's in our businesses know how much the whole body is intertwined. It's not just let's go get some oxygen and light and microcirculation. You've got to have the mental capacity in place, right? So many people come into my clinic and they've had trauma, or they've had something going on that is just not healing and repairing, or letting their bodies heal or repair. And what's happening is there could be a trauma that has happened from years and years ago, and it's now manifesting in their physical health. And a lot of athletes go through that, don't they? There's a lot of things we talked about with athletes, and how many of our athletes are dealing with such pressure.
Right.
I know I never went to the level that you did, but I owned a dance studio for 30 years, and my teams were I had competitive teams I'd take all over the place and compete, and they were phenomenal. Yeah. And we would have injuries, and we would have a lot of emotional things going on at home. And even for me, I've been a performer since I was 3, and been on stage and dancing and singing. And there's a lot of stress that comes with life. It doesn't matter what it is, right? But we're talking specifically with you with athletes. And I think what you're doing is so amazing. And I want to turn the time over to you and explain to them what we are doing. And your camera is right here, but you're welcome to speak to me both ways. But I know they want to see your beautiful eyes.
You want to see the eyes. Okay. So here's the thing that I love is talking with Stephanie, because I feel like we have very similar ideas of what we need to do to help people just feel better about life in general. And there's different ways than we think are traditional to do that. So for athletes, I love that you work with a lot of athletes who have injuries or recovering from injuries.
Right.
And it's interesting, recently I've had quite a few injured athletes coming to me to work on their mindset, and they'll say, is it worth working on these tools while I'm injured? And I say 100%, because this is the time that you actually have time. When you go to a practice just to be at a practice when you're injured, just because you should show up and be supportive, I always say, do the assignment that your coach gives you, and then the time that you normally would spend doing practice where your body can't physically do it right now, spend that time working on your mind, because you don't usually have athletes are so busy.
So busy.
That is the number one thing that we hear is from coaches and parents, is they don't have time for another thing. And I always say they don't not have time for their mind. They have to have time for their mind. If they're at a certain level, and you understand this as a dancer, if you're at a certain level, you have the technique, you have the drills, you have the foundation. We always say take it back to the basics, right? Take it back to the basics of everything. And when you have those basics strong, then you get to a point where a coach can say, I need you to do this. And unless you can self-coach at that point, you're going to be waiting for every answer. You're going to be wasting time. You're going to be wasting effort, where you could just figure out, hey, it's all about a feeling for me. I used to teach sports psychology tools for years and years. And now I focus on emotions, emotional health, because when you can create, when you can generate certainty and focus and power and energy, when you know how to generate those emotions, then you can drive the action that the coach is asking for. But when the coach says, I need you to do this, and you have the tools to know how to do that, then you become one of those athletes that stand out. And as an athlete in high school trying to get those college scholarships, you have to stand out. You have to look different than the rest of your peers, the rest of those thousands of athletes vying for that same thousands of dollars of scholarship, right? And so I love that our fields work so well, that they merge so well together, Stephanie. So whenever you can tell I get passionate about this. So whenever you and I talk, I always feel like if we can open up the blood flow, like you talk about, the light, the oxygen in the blood flow, not only does it help you have more energy, which we know, but then when you have the mindset behind how to even increase that more, because you understand how to release the neurochemicals and the hormones and the things that will help that, it just 10 times what you're doing for them. So when the body's trying to heal and you allow it, you receive it, you open up to it, and your body's opening up, and then your mind's opened up to different capabilities and ideas, you just see incredible things happen.
Right. You
becoming unstoppable. And I don't know if that's making sense, but it makes a lot of sense to my mind when I started talking to you about the benefits of the light and the oxygen.
Right.
How that helps with the healing process, but how it also helps with the mindset, with the mind game. Because when the blood is flowing through your mind the way the hyperbaric chambers do, when it forces the energy, the oxygen in, and your blood's flowing well, then you're also able to see things differently. I think literally see things differently.
Absolutely.
So when I'm trying to explain a concept to somebody and I'm saying, hey, I think it's possible for you to reach this level that you want. And I literally have parents saying, yeah, I don't know if it's possible for my athletes. Please don't put those kind of ideas into their mind. They're going to be disappointed. And I look at the athletes saying, how can we open up your mind? What do we need to do to open up the blood flow in your mind so that you can literally see that it's possible for your athlete to do anything they want? And injuries, so many times with the technology we have today, injuries are not really setbacks anymore. In fact, one athlete I just had last week, I've worked with her for quite a while. She just got injured, and she was one that said, should we just hold off on the sessions? I said, absolutely not. This is when we have to dive in fast.
Absolutely.
And take all advantage of all this time. And she said, so what do I do? I said, this is when we're going to create it before you do it. This is when we're going to literally feel it. We're going to literally cellular level get your body creating the neurological impulses to know how you want to feel when you're doing these moves in such detail that when you're out there, you're going to feel it at a much deeper level than you ever have before, which gets me excited because she felt so bad about the injury. And I said, no, I'm going to tell you what, this is the most blessed thing that you could have had right now. She's in the middle of season. She's like, no. I said, you already know what team you're going to be on. They've already accepted you. You're not worried about being on a team. You have that planned. Right. This is the time to become the collegiate athlete that they are wanting you to be when you get there in 6 months, and now you have time to work on it. Doing this season wasn't going to be a game changer for you to be on the team. You already made the team. Let's take this time to become the athlete that you've never been able to become and feel the way you've never felt about athletic. Well, one of the things I say is the top emotion most athletes feel is numb. They've pushed away emotions for so long in order to become what they think the coach needs them to become and what they think. So they don't feel very much in athletics anymore. So when you have light and energy pumping into them between the oxygen, and then we open their mind to possibilities and we open their mind to what it feels like, how you create feelings, then you get athletes who are at this level, and it not only upgrades their level of performance, but it upgrades their experience. That's what I say, is when you want to be an athlete that loves your sport again, then you have to learn about emotions. You have to open up to emotions, which includes all of them. And that's scary.
Yeah.
Right?
It is scary to open your mind like that. And I love the way that you described that, because I know there was times in my life when I would be out there performing on stage and you just felt at every ounce of your being that you nailed it. Just nailed it. And it's like, come off there just floating.
Yes.
Floating. And that's how athletes is. I played volleyball for a long time. I did a lot of different sports also. But just when you feel like every ounce of your soul and to be able to, and I sit there and think, what would that have been like had I had your skills to work with me at that level, plus what I do? I'm just going, gosh, where could I have taken this?
That's exactly, I hear what you're doing, and I think, oh my goodness, it's like a powerhouse together.
Absolutely.
Between the body healing, between the body opening up, between the cellular level. I love when you talk about that, because you literally change your body when you're doing mindset work and when you're doing thought work and when you're doing emotional work. And then when you're getting the opportunity to be flooded with more oxygen, it just brings it up to another level. And it just gets me so excited for just think, like you said, what would it have been like for us 20 years ago, 30 years ago to have had these kind of tools that athletes get today to do things that we can't even imagine. We can't even fathom what they can create.
Oh, absolutely.
Because of things like the hyperbaric chamber and the tools, the mental tools and the emotional tools that we have now.
Well, and I have a lot of my clients that come in and they'll tell me after they've done a session or two or three with hyperbaric and Avicen, or even one or the other, they always tell me that their minds are so much clearer, that they didn't even realize they were in a fog, or that everything is so much more crystal to them. So then to input what you get to do into that mind that is now clearer, simply because of oxygen and microcirculation in there, or lights are opening up the blood vessels and dilating them so that the body can accept more of this incredible information that we're given. Right.
Which is why I was telling you what we need to do is have these kids come in, get the healing with the body. I can't even imagine how much faster their body's healing because of the benefits of the oxygen and the light. And then when they do feel that the crystal clear that you're talking about, where they're not feeling the fog, that's when you want to fill their mind with all of these ideas that are going to literally promote things that they've never thought of before in their capabilities. And they will see the abilities lead them towards paths and ideas and decisions and choices that are going to create a lot more, not just satisfaction, but a lot more performance. Their performance, the consistency, the energy when they are on the field. I had a football team, and when you were literally sitting there about to start, and you're focused on one thing, because when you're focused on a lot of things that are not going to help you, then you get the fog, right? You get the confusion is, and the thought that I love is when they're like, I'm just going to go hard. I always stop them and go, whoa, 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 whoa. Let's stop right there. What does that even mean?
Yeah, what does go hard mean?
Yeah, what does work hard? I'm just going to drive. So why? What is it that you're trying to accomplish here? But when they know what they want, they have clarity of mind, and they have the tools to generate the energy to get that action every time. Because I hear athletes say, I'm just kind of exhausted. I'm tired. I'm like, that's because you're expending mental energy doing things that you shouldn't be doing. Like, I don't know what to do, but go hard. No, we need to know exactly what you're going to do. And when you know exactly what to do, you see things that other kids who don't have these tools don't see. And so you stand out. And then you get those huge scholarships, right? And then you get those opportunities that doors open, because they're like, how does he see that? We didn't even see that, you know? It's so fun when an athlete comes in and they're like, it was like deja vu. I'm like, yep, so that's what it becomes. Right?
It is so true.
It is so fun. It's so fascinating. But the thing I want to say about you love that floating feeling when you've had a great dance.
Exactly.
Great competition. What I like to say is, what if we create that floating feeling, that excited feeling, before you even go to the competition, and you lead the competition with that drive, that satisfaction, that enoughness, and then you go in and you compete with that as the starting emotion. It's so much more fun.
So much more fun.
Right?
You know, and that's what people do when they're prepared, right?
Yes.
But to take it to this level that you're talking about, it's just kind of a mind-blowing, really. It is. You sit there and think, gosh, what can I do with the talents that God's given me?
Yeah. 100%.
If I pull this all together and I'm not so concerned about this or that or whatever, you know, even just with a radio show, it's like focus in, drive it in, and share it with somebody so that it can possibly change their lives.
Yes.
Right. And I love one of the things that you and I talked about too, because athletes are very, very driven, very, very, very driven. Every type of athlete. I've got a friend out there that is running 100 miles every week. And he's getting ready for a big 100-miler. It's like, okay, I don't even get it, but okay. You know? Right. So it doesn't even sound fun to me. But for him, he's so good at it, and he loves it. And he loves the feel of it. And just, he's kind of like on a Nike commercial, you know, you see that drive in there. But there's a lot of people that are driven for other reasons. Yeah. And I want to talk about this too, because this was my son. He was driven for football, push, all these sports, you know, and then he developed asthma. And I realized there's something going on. He never had it before, but all of a sudden he's suffering from severe asthma, sports-induced asthma. And as we got looking at it, he's like, Mom, he didn't want to go. He didn't want to be part of it. He's like, but I can't let Dad down. I can't let the coaches down. And I'm like, whoa, something is manifesting in his body physically because of something that he's fighting. Doesn't want to do this, right? And his belief was he had to do this. And he actually got an injury, a pretty good injury when he was in junior high.
And what a relief for him.
It changed his life because he couldn't play. And it was almost like a relief for him to have that taken off of his shoulders. And he's like, what do I do? And I said, you know what? I've been in theater my whole life. And I'm like, go try theater, you know, see what that's going to do for you. And against the wishes of any of the male influences in his life, it's like, I don't want my son being in theater, you know.
Do not put on tights.
No, do not put on tights. And he's never, well, I take that back. He has worn tights, but it was pretty funny for a spoof that he did. But it changed his life. He became a great actor, and he'd been down in LA doing TV shows and movies and theater and singing, and it just shifted his life. And his asthma went away.
Yeah. You talk about clarity, and that's what happens, is when you understand your mind, it's not about doing something for somebody else, because that creates pressure no matter what.
Exactly.
We can never do something for somebody else anyways. We just think we're doing something for somebody else, and that creates our own pressure. And by thinking we have physiological results, like you said, asthma, and our brain, when it doesn't like doing things for other people, it's going to look for escape routes. Well, a beautiful escape route is injury. Yeah. You know, I would love to perform, but look, my body can't now. It's a relief for a lot of athletes who don't want to do sports. But the sad part is a lot of athletes actually do want to do sports. They just don't know how to create the emotions where they feel good about it anymore. So when they can create those emotions, they get clarity on, do I really want to do this? And when they do, their performance level goes up like that. And when they realize they don't, then they feel confident telling other people, I love you, but it's for me and it's not for you, and I'm going to go do theater, and feel so good and never regret it. They feel good about the past that they've had, but they don't feel bad changing the trajectory of their life because they've created the emotion they need.
Right. So talk a little bit, Amy, about parents.
Oh,
because
parents.
We love our parents, right?
Yes.
And if we didn't have the parents, we wouldn't have the kids.
Right.
And so for good, bad, or ugly, we've got the parents.
Yeah.
And we've both been through the experience of different parents on different degrees and different levels. Right. So talk to us about the parents and the support system, basically.
Yeah. And there's so many things about parents. There's parents who, just a couple weeks ago, I was at a competition for gymnastics, and there was a parent talking to me at my booth, and I said, isn't your daughter performing? She goes, oh yeah, but I never watch. I can't watch her because I'm afraid if I see her mess up, I'm going to be mad at her all the way home. And I think about these parents, the pressure they put on themselves. And then I have the parents who came with a daughter who they felt was being bullied, and the parents said, she was telling me about her dreams, and the parents are like, oh, no, she's only this high. She's not going to. And I sit there looking at parents going, wait a second. When we talk, we don't realize the influence. Now, I'm never going to say a parent causes a kid pressure. I don't believe in that. That's not emotional tools that I teach. Can we trigger? Can we influence? Yes, 100%. And can we create an environment that helps kids see more potential in themselves? Yes, 100%. I think that the parents are... They need to feel just as valued, just as enough as a parent as the athlete, so the parents can figure out the role that they really want to play, because parents they're sincerely, I think their intentions are good.
Well, absolutely.
They're trying really hard to become, do I need to be the parent who's really hard on my athlete to get them to go where I think they can go? Or should I be really soft? Should I be quiet? Should I not watch? What am I supposed to do? And I would say, you do nothing, because the athlete's going to figure it out. And we just let the athletes figure it out. But the parents don't know what to do with the nothing either. Right. So I love to coach parents through what's going on for them, because their emotions are huge. My mom had the hardest time watching me do gymnastics because she was afraid I was going to get hurt. Well, I never knew that, luckily, because if I was afraid that she was afraid I was going to get hurt, what kind of thought,
That's what's in your mind,
right? I'm so grateful I didn't know that till after I was done. But the parents have just as many emotional roller coasters, if not more. I really think athletes have very numb feelings, and I think parents are going through huge ups and downs. So I love working with parents, but parents, they don't think they need it. They think it's the athlete.
It is about the athlete. And that is so, like say my parents that I had for many, 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 many years, that was the same thing. And some would just drive. And I'd have the kids crying in the other room going, they've got to be out on the floor performing in 10 minutes. And they are so upset right now because of something that was said to them. Yeah. And I love the fact that you do, and you have it open there for coaching, for families, and for parents.
Yes.
And so tell us a little bit about how they can get your information, because I think the way that you're doing this is brilliant.
Here's the thing that I hear the most. My parents, when I was 16, I was starting to work with sports psychology people because I had mental blocks, and it was so expensive for my parents, and it took time. I decided that we've got to figure out a way that's convenient and affordable. And so the membership I have live calls all week, every week, some specifically for coaches, some specifically for parents, some specifically for athletes, and then open calls for anybody to ask anything. So even if there's a sibling, if there's anybody who needs some help, they're open. So when you pay for a membership, which is 100%, it's $49 per month, for heaven's sake, right?
$49 per month.
It includes your family,
access.
right?
Nuts.
You get on here, and it also has an Ask Amy area. It's like having a texting ability, like a mental strength coach in your pocket at all times. You get on, text me it's all anonymous. Text me any problem you're having, and within 48 hours, I respond to you, and it's all anonymous, so everybody gets to see. Because the thing that's really cool is you find patterns. We all struggle with essentially the same things. So flippinawesomecoaching.com is where you go. And
say that again one more time slowly so everybody
can
get that. FlippinAwesomeCoaching.com.
Yep, that's it. It's Flippin with the FLIPPIN, awesomecoaching.com. And don't go to the teams part. If you're on a team, if you're a coach, then I have a deal for teams. Okay, and it's beautiful. It helps your athletes, your parents, for your gym, for your club. But for parents and athletes, we all need these tools. We need emotional tools. The level of athletics I was at helps me understand your athlete, understand what they're doing, what's driving them, where they're trying to go. I understand on so many different levels. I've been a USAG judge. I've been a college commentator at competitions. I've run a gym. I've coached a lot of different things. I've been the crazy parent, and I've been the the crazy mom, the crazy coach, all of it. I understand it all.
The crazy mom.
Ask me anything. There's nothing you can't ask, and it helps you, and it's convenient. Everything's recorded, replayed, so you can go back and listen. So I tried to make a place where it's super affordable, super convenient. There's no monthly obligation, so that's what I've done.
That's so awesome. So Flippin Awesome Coaching.com. Is that the best name? That's the best name. Can you tell us she was a gymnast?
Well, and I like to flip your mind. I challenge every thought. We just keep flipping thoughts
Yes.
until you can create what you want to create. And you can create anything. Nothing is out of your range.
And this is awesome for athletes, but just anybody.
Everybody,
right?
yes.
Everybody can get help from this. And it's the best thing. Like everybody can get help from oxygen, light, and microcirculation.
Exactly.
Help her, let her help you get that clarity in your mind. And really, we're all awesome. You guys are all awesome. And we have the most awesome flipping coach here.
Thank you.
So we are so excited about that. So
Thanks,
we're going to
Stephanie.
wrap up. And this is Stephanie, the Oxygen and Light Lady. Have a fantastic day. VibrantUutah.com. Have a super day.
This has been the Vibrant You Show with the Oxygen and Light Lady, Stephanie Parrish. For more information about hyperbaric oxygen therapy, PPMT light therapy, Avicen microcirculation, neurofeedback, and other modalities, go to VibrantUutah.com. Until next time, this has been the Vibrant You Show with the Oxygen and Light Lady, Stephanie Parrish. And remember, the oxygen revolution is on.